How's it going, guys? Batting Sixth here, back again with another video. And the craziness today, the amount of Twitter notifications, the amount of talk has been insane. And you guys know I love the Blue Jays. I love talking about the Blue Jays. And we are in the thick of things when it comes to Kyle Tucker. So if you guys are new here, be sure to like this video and subscribe. I'd love to have you guys here. I'm closing in on 500 subscribers. Like I keep telling you guys, I would love to get to 500. I'd love to get to 1,000 eventually. But you guys know what we do. We don't waste any more time. Let's get into it because it looks as though there could be a decision coming. Now, at NYPost_Mets. And again, I'm not verifying any of these sources because I'm just a dude that talks to a camera. This guy is saying the Mets expect to receive an answer relatively soon on Kyle Tucker. The team brass at the moment doesn't have a read on which way he might be leaning. Now, that is pretty significant. Why? Because apparently the Mets have offered 4 years, $200 million. And I mentioned this in the last video, I believe. If it got to 4 years, $200 million, that's a pretty significant deal. That is a monster offer. $200 million over 4 years. There would likely be opt-outs. That could mean he could go in this year and have a monster year and then re-enter free agency next year, or, you know, do that and then re-sign with the Mets long term. I have no idea what could potentially happen here, but that is pretty significant. And the other thing I want to bring up too is Ben Nicholson-Smith saying that the Mets and Dodgers should be afraid. He said that yesterday. There's a clip of it. If you guys, I'm sure most of you have seen it, but then Ben Nicholson-Smith was like, oh, like, don't read into my smile, all this stuff. You know how he likes to be with that. But it seemed as though the Blue Jays and the Mets were like the two teams that were offering the short-term monster deal and then the long-term deal from the Blue Jays. But then apparently Jon Heyman, again, I'm not saying this guy has great sources because he's been wrong before. Jon Heyman said the most likely landing spot are as follows. Number 1, the Mets. 2, the Dodgers. 3, the Jays. So he's ranking the Jays number 3, which is kind of weird because we haven't heard much from the Dodgers, but they still are the Dodgers, which makes me wonder if they're matching the deals that the Mets are. So 4 years, $200 million potentially. Are they matching that? Or are they going long term? I have no idea. We don't really know. But the fact that everybody is starting to hear numbers, they're starting to be like, okay, maybe the numbers are leaking because the Tucker's camp wants the Blue Jays to up their offer hearing these numbers, or it's desperation from the Mets being like, see, look how much money we're going to give you, even more. And I don't know. Again, we are just, you know, reacting as fans. But another person, and I'm not saying Bob Nightingale has great sources, but he was on Foul Territory. He thinks that the fit is more with the Blue Jays. And again, keyword, he thinks. He also believes that Tucker's looking for a long-term deal. He doesn't think, again, keyword, we're seeing think a lot in here, you know, multiple times. Doesn't think he wants to go through the free agency process, hoping Toronto will up their average annual value. Like I said, the Blue Jays are prioritizing Tucker more than Bo, and we'll be posting a video probably tomorrow depending on what happens. But it looks like the Phillies and Bo Bichette are potentially working on something. They might be trying to get something done there. So there's a lot to unpack there. If the Jays lose out on Tucker and Bo, that could be a little scary. I know this Jays team is better in terms of their pitching, their bullpen, whatever, but Okamoto, I'd love to add more onto that, and that's why I'm really hoping that the Jays are still firmly in. And this is something that, Passan was talking about this morning. He basically said he doesn't think the Blue Jays are done. They're firmly in the mix on Kyle Tucker and still the likeliest team to give him the big money long-term deal he's seeking. And then he talks about Bichette and how much money they have coming off the books, how much money they have coming off. And look, the reason why there is a little bit of doubt here, and I think it's fair to have some doubt and then obviously some excitement because the Blue Jays are still in it, but a lot of people are saying they just believe, they think. There's no like concrete Mets offer out there, right? Like the Mets are putting out there that they've offered 4 years, $200 million through the media, okay? And like I said, that could be desperation, or that could be them, that could be Tucker's camp being like, yeah, now somebody top this or else this is where we're signing. So again, I'm going to just quickly, while I'm here, I'm going to refresh my phone so that way I can see the latest on Twitter. I know it's unprofessional, but again, we're going to see what's going on here and just be very careful to see if there's any new news. I'm not seeing anything here. Again, there could be, maybe there's a sleeper team in there. Who knows? I have no idea. But it seems as though it's Mets, Jays, Dodgers, and they're the most in teams on this guy, and they're the top 3 teams. But I don't know. There's nothing on there. So if you guys see me again tonight, it's because there's another update. So if you're new here, be sure to like this video and subscribe. I'd love to have you here. My name is Andrew from Batting Six. Comment down below what you think will happen. Subscribe if you're new. I'd love to get to 500, and I'll see you in the next one.